being one of the spokesperson of Chaos Computer Club, one of the biggest hacker organization in Europe. And today he's going to talk about between hacking, activism, and the Supreme Courts. Let's welcome him.
Yep, thank you very much for having me. It's my honor to tell you a little bit about the experiences we have made in German internet and freedom activism, as I would like to put it together. I've titled this to be a talk about the Chaos Computer Club, but honestly, it's a talk about the German activist scene in general. And I will most of the time say we, and with we I won't mean only the CCC, but basically everybody in Germany that is part of this activist scene. And most of the time I basically mean everybody but me, because I'm speaking about the past. So whenever I say we, please just think, yeah, everybody but that guy up there. I myself, I'm a psychologist. That's what I, at least by title, that's what I learned in university. I had spent too much time on computers, so I thought, okay, when I get to go to university, I'm going to try to, study this thing with the humans. And then when I was done studying psychology, I thought I would rather spend my time with computers again. So I went back to computer technology and started working as a IT security consultant. So basically that means you look at computer systems, you break them, then you help put them together in a secure manner, and then you break them again, and you just try to improve the security of systems, mainly for large organizations, but also for products, whatever there is. Basically, it's just legal hacking, and that's probably as fun as it gets. So the CCC, what is the CCC? I'm going to start by introducing the CCC from a historical perspective, and then we'll talk about our fights against censorship, mass surveillance, state Trojans, and in the end, our fight against going to jail for treason. Treason, as you probably understand, is a serious offense. So when does the CCC start? It must have been in the time when computers looked something like this. And my first computer interface was this. That's a Commodore 64 command prompt. That's how I started. And back in those days, the computers were somewhere in your home. There was a computer. It was an entity. You could turn it on and off. Back in the days, you would turn computers on and off. You don't really do that anymore today. And you could, maybe execute a file on the computer, write a text, but that was basically it. The computer was there, and maybe there was another computer next to it, but those two computers were completely separate entities. And eventually, somebody got the idea of connecting a computer to a phone and another computer to the phone, and then having the computers speak to each other. And I think that was probably the most revolutionary idea ever. Because it ended up in all computers being connected over networks all the time, and us now treating computers as more or less terminals to this sphere that everybody likes to call the cloud or Facebook or whatever people call the social network of their choice. And it was in those days, so this is about a little bit more than 30 years ago, that Mr. Wau Holland founded the Chaos Computer Club. Because they were visionaries understanding what impact information technology would have on society. So back in those days, those were the guys that were sitting, with their computers at home or hooking them up to telephone lines, even though they weren't allowed to do so with their own devices, already breaking regulations at that time, and already thinking about the future that we now live in. Most of the things that we experience today, they have thought about, and they have taught society about and founded a strong scene in Germany that thinks about these things. So the CCC started doing a regular event we have now done, or we're right now preparing the 33rd one of the kind, which is the annual Chaos Communication Congress. So here you see a poster from 1988, and in 1984, this was already on the national news. So this is, on the right you see the German Tagesschau, which is the largest and probably most influential TV news show in the evening with a couple of million viewers every evening. So back in the days already, the CCC had gained the influence to be relevant and to be reported on. Also a bit due to the first security breaches that the CCC reported to the public. So when we talk about IT security, we talk about potentially a lot of victims that could fall, that could suffer from the insecurities. So it's in the CCC ethos to inform the public about IT vulnerabilities so that the vulnerabilities can be fixed and the world is a better and safer place for all of us. What we see here are just some screenshots from what is called, I think, the first digital bank robbery, when Wou Holland and Steffen Veneri and some other people from the CCC managed to steal roughly, so that's a significant amount of money, 130,000 euros, from a German bank with a system called the BTX, which was the predecessor of the internet. And of course, they gave the money back, and we're happy to be on national news once again. And it was this crew that eventually adapted from Stephen Levy a certain set of principles called the hacker ethics. I'm just going to recite them a little bit just to give you an idea of where we're coming from and what we believe a world and our future should look like. So first of all, access to computers and anything that might teach you something about the way the world works should be unlimited and total. Everybody